Okay, the next step is to use all that we've learned so far about the patterns of thirds, the first and second inversions, and combine all of them to play and create these 3-note arpeggios. So let me show you what I mean here. And basically an arpeggio is a chord played one note at a time. And it's very important to be able to know what these are, to know how to play it, and to be able to apply them in your playing. And so I'm going to show you how to do that now. I'm going to go and make a scale. We'll put it in the key of G. So here's the main scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to put 7 here, even though there's a 7 right there. Those are the same notes, but I'll put it here for now. Okay, so what we do is if we were to take the 1 chord, which is a major chord, and let me see. Okay. Play the thirds pattern, you would get this because it's a major chord. And then you would get the first inversion right here. And then you would get the second inversion right here. So basically those are the notes of the arpeggio of the 1 chord, which is a major chord. Now the only thing with this is there are 2 notes that are the same. So this note here, which is a B, and this note, which is a B, are the exact same note played on 2 strings. So you don't want to have to play both of these because you only need one of those. So to create an arpeggio, a 3-note arpeggio out of this pattern, what you're going to do is to play this pattern right here. Actually not pattern, but these groups of notes. So you would play this one, this major third, over here the 5th, and an octave, 1 at a time ascending. Okay? Or you can play it this way. And it's total preference on how you want to do it. Whatever comes easiest to you. You can, this is a bigger skip. This is 4 frets rather than 3. But you can play it this way. This would be 1, 3, 5, and this is an octave of the 1. Okay? So that would be a major chord 3-note arpeggio pattern. Okay. Now let's go to the minor chords. So we'll take number 2 as an example. So 2 is a minor chord there, and here's the minor third pattern. We're going to go and play the first inversion, which looks like that. Then we'll play the second inversion, which is this. Once again, these 2 notes here are the exact same note. They're both C's. So you don't have to play both of those. You only need to play one of those. So you can either play this pattern here, which is the pattern for a minor chord, or you can play it this way. Once again, however you want to. Okay, so with that, basically you have the arpeggios for 6 out of these 7 chords. Because remember, going back to the theory, chords number 1, number 4, and number 5 are all major chords. So they will use the exact same pattern as the first pattern that I just showed you before this one. Okay? Pattern. And then chords 2, 3, and 6 are minor. So they use the minor pattern, which looks like this. Okay? Now once again, It's a kind of a common theme, but the 7 is the oddball. So 7 is the diminished, and that's the one that's going to be different from the rest. So let me show you how to make that. So we'll go to the 7 note here, and play that as a minor. And then you remember the diminished uses another minor pattern for its first inversion, and then the second inversion looks like that. And once again with this note and this note are the same note, so you don't have to play those two. Both of them, you only have to play one of those. And so for a 7, which is a diminished, you can either play this pattern or you can play this pattern. That will be the diminished arpeggio pattern. Diminished pattern. And these patterns that I just showed you, I showed you one of the major, one of the minor, and now one of the diminished, are the same as long as they look exactly the same, as long as you start the arpeggio on either the low E string or the A string. As soon as you move to the D string, now that's going to involve going to the B string, and you remember there's a slight change there because of the unique tuning of the guitar. There's one more thing I wanted to add, but let's see. Diminished. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to say. So one of the cool things about these 3-note arpeggios is they involve 3 notes. Here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, and then an octave of the note that you started from. So there's 4 notes. And what's pretty cool about that is typically in the music that we play, which is in 4/4 time, there's 4 beats to a measure. And so a good, convenient way to practice these arpeggios over chord changes is for every beat, play each note of the arpeggio. So, you know, you can start with like 1, as you count, 1, 2, 3, 4. And as the chord changes, go to whatever that next chord is, whether it's major or minor, then pick the appropriate pattern and play 1, 2, 3, 4. And that way, you're applying these arpeggios in a musical setting rather than just knowing the patterns and not using them at all.